Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Diva here, just behind the camera today. That's me waving. Please excuse the lighting, it's going to get a bit brighter in here in a few moments, but the weather and up and down today was not my friend. But today we are going to be doing a walkthrough of my 2024 digital book journal setup. I'm still trying to figure out the best setup for when I do these videos, whether like filming on my phone vertically or like using my Sony camera. And then it literally hit me that if I wanted to show you guys like my setup, like how I do my individual pages as I've mentioned in the past, I can literally screen record, and so look forward to that in the future. But to get back to the topic at hand, let's talk about my 2024 digital book journal setup. I'm really proud of how this setup came out because though I went into the book journal with an idea of what I wanted the setup to look like, it was very much like coming to me as I went, and so I'm really happy with how it came out. Without further ado, let's get right into it. This is my cover page. When I was first brainstorming what I wanted my cover to look like in 2024, I had two ideas in mind. One, I knew I wanted it to be some form of self-identification. That was the first thought that came to mind, like a library card or a driver's license. And while I didn't want it exactly to be like my 2023 cover, I did want to bring in the same feelings of nostalgia that I had from my 2023 cover that was like a diary/journal. At first, I was thinking of making my own Call Me If You Get Lost card because I've just seen a lot of really cute renditions of it. But the more I thought about the idea, it just wasn't feeling bookish enough, so I scrapped it. And then I started thinking about the library because I love the library. And I don't think this really exists anymore, but I was thinking about how when we were younger, if you wanted to borrow a book or a textbook from the library, there used to be this thing called like a borrower's card. When you would write your name, some of your information, like when you checked the book out. And the more I thought about that idea, the more I just felt like I could do a lot with it, and so that's why I started going. The first picture I found was the manila card holder. I've said in my previous book journal video, but what I use to turn pictures into files where they no longer have backgrounds is a website called Remove BG. This website is literally my holy grail. I used to erase all of the backgrounds of pictures that I didn't want in Procreate by hand, but on this website you can literally just like upload the JPEG, the PNG, and it'll erase the background for you, and it'll give you the option like if you want to restore some things, erase some more elements, it gives you that option as well. So the original photo of the manila card holder came with a white background. I uploaded that picture to that website, it erased the background, and so now I had a file that didn't have the background anymore. The next element was the borrower's card. I just scoured the internet until I found one that I liked. The borrower's card was longer. It's not as short and as square as you guys are seeing here. It was more of a rectangle to begin with. That's when I did some erasing. I basically cut off the bottom half. There weren't any words there, so it just felt kind of like a lot of extra space I didn't need. And I also wanted the card to look like it was fitting into the manila folder like a pocket. I was really happy with how things were coming together, but the background was like a stark white against the manila that I just really wasn't in love with. At first I contemplated like just like putting stickers all over it, but I was like, I feel like it needs a little bit more, and that's when I found the yellow notebook paper. In Procreate, you can stretch and reform and distort images, and so I did that to make it bigger and more stretched out. And I'm not gonna lie, at this point in my head, I'm like, oh, this is coming together so well. This is so cute. And I'm like, what am I gonna do next? And that's when the stickers came to mind. On Pinterest, I looked up 90s, 2000 stickers, and these are the ones that popped up. Similar to the manila folder, these stickers were pictures with white backgrounds, and then I put them through Remove BG, and then the backgrounds disappeared. I chose stickers that just reminded me of how my friends and I, when we were younger, used to decorate like our folders, our notebooks. I just love the glitter of it all, and especially how some stickers kind of look like they're lifting off the page. To get back into the process of it all, these are what the layers look like. As I'm scrolling through, you can see that I kind of have a lot of layers on this page. Not many compared to like some of the other pages I've done, but there are a lot still. You can combine the layers to make groups, things like that if you want to, for just like more organization. If you want to shift something around for something to be on top of something that's behind it, this is how you can do that by moving the layers around. When it comes to titling the book journal, I wanted a font that kind of looked like it was handwritten. So I'm not gonna lie, this is the part that I waffled on a lot. I looked through like at least like 5 to 10 different fonts before I settled on this one. And so I titled it book journal and then put my name, and then to show that this was my 2024 journal, I said established 2024. And that's how my cover came to be. I sound like a broken record at this point, but I am really happy with how the cover came out because that's definitely what inspired what a lot of my other pages look like in the journal, as you'll see. Also, just in the vein of being creative but working smarter, not harder, you guys will see these stickers the same like pattern a lot throughout the journal. These are my individual journal page templates. I'm going to keep referring to information I've already talked about in like my 2023 book journal video walkthrough, so I implore you to kind of watch that one before you watch this one. It's not necessary, but I've already talked about this before, which is that within my book journal, I only make individual journal pages for books that I rate 3-star or higher. I record all of the books I read on my monthly bookshelves, whether it's a DNF, whether I rate it lowly, highly, things like that. Individual journal pages like this that you're seeing right now is basically a way for me to remember to highlight the books that I enjoyed over the course of the year. My template hasn't changed at all since 2023, this is the one thing I carried over along with my larger digital bookshelf. The square that's in the left or right hand corner is where the cover goes. The stars is for the star rating. The circle near the by is for the author or artist's name. The from to is when I read the book, and the speech bubble is where I put my thoughts. The only addition are the little bubbles that you can see under the star rating where there's a book, a phone, and some headphones, which are different ways for me to track how I do my reading through audiobook on my phone or through a physical copy. I usually read on my phone or my iPad. Yes, I love reading physically, but just by the nature of I was an English major in college, I had a lot of books, papers to carry around already. Reading on my phone at like lunch was just like such an easier way, and hauling all of my stuff out at the end of the year was already trouble enough that I can't even imagine if I brought like all of my books from home to read. But I really want to get into audiobooks this year, which is why I created this formatting, and I want to change it up. It's so distracted when I listen to audiobooks, but there are a couple books that I have my eye on that I'm looking forward to reading this year that I'm just like, I feel like you would be better if I read you as an audiobook, and so that's what I'm looking forward to doing. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, the Polaroids in the middle are where I usually put like pictures related to the book that remind me of it. This is my 5-star reads page for this year, and this was my one from last year, just for reference. Like I said, once I made the cover, I was like, I like this. I feel like we could get a theme going here. And so for my 5-star reads page, DNF page, TBR shelf, and my genre tracker, I made them all kind of in the theme of notebook paper, 2000 stickers. 5-star reads page will, as its name says, track my 5-star reads, my standout books that like stick with me over the year. I made this page reminiscent of like when your teacher, professor would give you back like a test, homework, and it would be like, great job, 100%, and they would like circle it in red. And I found these gold stickers online, removed the background, placed them there. I really love the way these stickers look, the way you can just see like the shininess, like I almost kind of feel like the scratchiness of them. And for all of the writing I did for these pages, I used the same pen, pencil, which is called ink bleed, because I just wanted it to look, I said before, like pencil, like I was very much like handwriting it on a piece of paper. This is my DNF did not finish page, and this is my page from last year. And I never said before, but similar to the other pictures, I found the college ruled white paper online. Then for this page, I found a composition notebook, and I just went through a couple. There were different colors, blue, pink, but then I just ended up going with the black and white marble. And the more I look at this, the more I'm like, wow, Diva, this looks so planned out, like so thorough, like you really had this like set in stone. But I still want to stress that if you want to start like a reading journal, a book journal on Procreate, like a digital book journal, it does not have to be like super aesthetic or complicated. It's just for you to have fun with. Back to the page, once I found the composition spiral notebook that I wanted, I scribbled out where it said composition notebook on it, and I wrote DNF. And then I used the stickers that I used on my cover page here, and you can change the color of things on Procreate, and so what I had at my disposal was like a yellow and like pink smiley glitter sticker, and then I also made it blue and like other colors. This is my TBR to be read shelf, and this is my TBR shelf from last year. I am very much a mood reader, so I really contemplated making this page again, because if you watched my last video about my book journal, I only really ended up getting to one that I really haven't even finished yet. But I do just think it's good to have a track of the books that I do want to keep my eye on and like keep track of. I took basically all the books that I didn't get to last year that I still was interested in reading, and I put them here. The only one that's new is Mickey Chambers Shakes It Up, because I've heard really good things about that one and it caught my eye recently. Again, no really rhyme or rhythm, but just in the theme of like the college ruled paper, the 2000 stickers, I found this hello like name sticker, and I thought it went well with this. I wrote in to be read, and then I found some more star stickers and added them around the perimeter of the name tag. Every time I look at this page, my eyes immediately gravitate to the stars. I just really like how colorful they are. This is my genre tracking page, which sounds exactly like what it's titled. This is where I track the genres that I read. This page is new to me. I didn't have one last year, but I found that while to my core I am a romance girly, I found that that's the genre I'm reading from most recently. I do want to really diversify it in terms of like reading a bit more fantasy, reading a bit more mystery, just like switching it up a bit. And I also feel like I catch myself just feeling like a bit monotonous when I read a lot of one genre like over a period of time. So I'm gonna be so for real. I don't know if I'm gonna commit to this, but I feel like it'll just be nice, like, oh, if I read like a lot of like romances in a row, or even because I am also like a bit of a fantasy girly, if I catch myself like, oh, reading like a lot of fantasy, I'm like, oh, let's pepper in some like lit fic or just like something a little bit different, just like to keep the pace moving. But honestly, if we come back at the end of the year and this is mostly scribbled in pink, I wouldn't be surprised at all, and I wouldn't be upset at that. And like I just said, this page will basically be like for every book, graphic novel, manga that I read, I will scribble in the according color of the genre that I've read. These are the genres I currently have listed, but I feel like there are so many subgenres that I also read from sometimes, like romantasy, historical fiction, that I'm trying to think about like when I approach those, how to incorporate them into this tracker. Maybe I'll just add different colors. I changed things at will all the time last year for my book journal, so really nothing is like set in stone. I can always like shift and move things around. Design wise for this page, I just added a lot of stickers that just felt right for some reason, and then I utilized the colors that I used for the genres, and I filled in any of like the A, the E for the genre tracker, I filled in with those colors. Now getting into my monthly covers and bookshelves. Again, referencing my last book journal video, if you watch that, you know that for my 2023 journal, I made cover pages for each month. Here's an example for last year's January. And I based the aesthetic around like kind of according holidays with the month, like January, New Year's, February, Valentine's Day, March, St. Patrick's Day. And so that's what I also did for this, just a little bit different. As you'll see, and as January shows here, I kind of went with like a scrapbooking style for all of them that also incorporated the stickers that I've been using. As of right now, I've found about 5 different sets of alphabet letters that range from like glittery stickers to ones that look like more like letters you cut out of magazines that I'm going to use for the lettering to make the names of the months. So as you can see for January, I went with like a New Year's Happy 2024 theme, and so there's glitter stickers, confetti, all of the works. I feel like the other month pages as of right now are a bit more simplistic in their design, like it's a print, there's letters, and then there's a few stickers, but I went like a bit crazy with January. Crazy in the sense that like this is a mashup of like a bunch of different things. I found a picture that had a bunch of confetti on it, and so that's what the background is. Then I added some of the star stickers that you may recognize because I used them on previous pages. And at this point, I'd included the alphabet letters, but it still just wasn't feeling like New Year's celebratory enough for me yet. So I found a banner online that said Happy New Year, Happy 2024, and I moved the bits around to accommodate what I needed to. I shifted a lot of things around, deleted some things, erased some things, put some things that weren't there before I decided on this final product. Really love this page because it just feels very scrapbooky. It really feels like, I keep saying this, but like the stickers and the letters are lifting off of the page. Now let me show you where I'll be keeping track of the books I read in January. This is my monthly bookshelf for January, and that's basically the setup theme for all of the months and then their according bookshelves. The month's cover is much more detailed with a print, some lettering, some stickers, and then the bookshelves where I'll put the book's covers and their star rating, or if I DNF them, are much more like simplistic, primarily because the focus here should really be on like the book star ratings. And so as you'll see with the other months, the setup is college ruled paper, and then I write in the month, and then I put 2 stickers on each side of the month that just feel like it's in accordance with the month. And so January, New Year's, the glitter suckers just felt very applicable. February, some hearts, and then for March I put some rainbows. Another big change, like the genre tracker page that I didn't have before, is also the playlist of the month having its own page. For my playlist of the month, it used to also be on my monthly bookshelf page. It was this little box in the right hand corner where I would choose 3 songs that I felt like I either had listened to heavily that month or was really obsessed with. And this year I just felt like giving it its own page, so I did. The setup and coloring is in color accordance with the month's cover, and so February is pink, March is green. I may change January's because it really is not feeling like blue. A part of me is like, should I make it white? Not really sure yet. But I found all these elements that reminded me of music, like the headphones, the CD. I'm playing around with a couple of different ideas about how I'm going to show the title of the song or the album cover that the song belongs to. I may make it so it looks like it's playing on like an iPad Nano, or I may just put like the album covers themselves. Who knows? And in my head, what I've been calling a little spark outline, which is basically the shape outline that surrounds the playlist of the month, is inspired by the Rugrats logo. Now just going to be showing the same setups that I have for February and March. And for February and March, I did not make those prints. I found them on Pinterest. Hi again, I hope you guys enjoyed that little quiet slideshow. But this is the last element I have to show you guys, the yearly bookshelf, which is where I keep track of all of the books that I finish over the course of the year, so this does not include DNFs. This is something I basically took fully from last year's journal. I found the photo template online and I just feel like it suits what I need perfectly, so I didn't really see the point in changing it. I also feel like aesthetically, design-wise, it was enough for me that I could just change the colors of the furniture. I just really love that this photo looks like it's really like the wall of somebody's apartment, like it's cozy, it seems homey. And to make it more so, last year I found pictures of wooden backgrounds and made it so that they could be the bookshelves shelves. One thing was, outside of the couch and the clock, the furniture didn't really have outlines. And you'll know if you use Procreate, if something doesn't have an outline, the app itself can't really like distinguish like where it ends, and so it just ends up like coloring everything you can't color drop in. As such, I basically copied over the outlines I did from last year, and then I color dropped in new colors. Especially when it came to like little pens and markers you can see in that cup, it just took me a while to outline that, so I was like, I'm not doing that over again. Like I said, have fun, but work smarter, not harder. And I really love how it all came together. I especially love the color of the new couch. I've been contemplating if I should change the color of the goldfish, but it just feels like a goldfish should be orange, you know? And the photo itself only says books read, and so I wrote in 2024. And basically how I track the books here is once I finish a book in its entirety, I fill in one of the spines that you see. It's supposed to reflect the book cover's actual spine, but I usually utilize elements of the actual cover art, mostly because when I look at the spine, even outside of like the title that I put there, I want to recognize from the art that like, oh, this is so-and-so, and the spine of the actual book doesn't usually give that feeling. And I promise this is my last. Refer to my 2023 digital book journal video, but if you want to see what last year's looked like, then please refer to that video. It is just such a gratifying feeling feeling as you work down the bookshelves as you read over the course of the year. And that is basically the end of the tour. Thank you guys for watching. By the time this video is uploaded, I would have read a manga or two, and so that will be included into the January bookshelf that you guys won't see. But I'm just really looking forward to tracking the books that I read over the course of the year and making individual journal pages. I've said before, but this is my favorite new hobby. As somebody who loves Pinterest, scrapbooking, books, like this incorporates like everything I love in one place. And in making my own, my friend also made her own digital bookshelf last year, and she had her own fun with it, creating such a cute and creative setup. And at the end of last year, we were able to look at each other's bookshelves and just kind of talk and chat about them. And hers looks so different than mine, which just really shows that there's like no one way to do this. Like, it's really just like have fun with what you want to do, which is basically to say I'm looking forward to all of the books that I'm going to be reading this year and all of the fun I'm going to be able to have with my digital book journal.